Yeah, I'm starting the record.
All right, perfect.
Okay. So let me open actually current version as well first, so I can show you the differences. All right. So this is our current version, right?
Yep.
And the demo that you saw with Bob. Okay. So, but this is what we are working now. This is the whole new look for our system. So we have different menu system. We have different kind of approach for the data and communication, right? And it has much better and quick response time compared to what we have right now. So we are launching it and we are making it ready to start for one of our customers start using by next month. So once we do that, then it will be ready to demo, and then we will do all the demos in the future using this.
Okay, great. So yeah, I'm curious to see what features most brokers and 3PLs would be interested in. That's the biggest thing.
So one thing is that we already have few clients. Those are, let me check. No, it's John. He's John.
It has something to do with that tower thing that's next to the bridge.
Okay. So the first thing is we do have some clients that are using our system, and they are brokers, right?
Yeah.
So let's think about how broker work first. Then you can understand how our system is helping them. So and you know that how do you know anything about the brokers, how they work?
I thought they worked off of volume, so they're trying to get as many loads as they can and find buyers for the loads.
Correct. So this is how they work. So what they do, that they do the marketing, they find the loads in the market, and they to find the loads they normally use two major services. One is dat.com.
Yeah, right? That's a big. They have a load board.
Yes,
which is a service for brokers.
Correct. So whoever needs a load to be transferred, they post on that DAT, and there is another one, 123 load board.
Right. Yeah, that's the most popular feature is the load board.
Correct. So both of these are mostly used by the brokers. What they do, that they find the loads from here, they make a deal with the customer, right? Once they make a deal, what they need to do is that they need to know once they have a load. So instead of carrier, they just want to store that load into their system so they can start tracking it. Okay, this is where our system comes in. So it doesn't matter if they are broker or a carrier, they have to create a load.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah, it's all about load management. Yeah.
Correct. So, and each load has the similar information from where we are going to pick it up and where we are going to drop it. All right. So once they have all this information, then they will start working on carrier or driver. They have connections with the carriers. They have connections with the direct driver or individual drivers as well. And they offer them that load. If they want to do it, they have some percentage. They decide it and they assign that load to the driver.
Can we do a hypothetical real quick?
Yeah, sure. So let's assume if I have a customer. So if it's a new customer, I can quickly add it from here. So let's assume I'm work. And let me add a few more things for DAT and 123. So we already working on the integration of these two softwares. We already have one of them. 123 load board, actually we done with this, right? DAT, we already working on it. So the benefit of doing that is instead of going to DAT or 123 load board, they can search loads directly from our software.
Right.
So they don't even have to go to there. And once they book it, it will automatically create all the load. It will pick all the information from the load and create a load within our system, right? So let's assume I'm having a customer to pick up. I provide the pickup location, right? And then I provide the drop-off location. Okay. So once I provide it, it will automatically create the route for me. Stop customer, I don't have one. So, oh, yes. I choose this. So we always have three types of customer, right? One is the billing customer, one from where we are going to pick, and from one where we are going to drop. This is how,
Sure.
how our system always works. So I
Yeah.
provided all the information, right? Once I provided it, it will create the route for me that I actually choose very close customer. So, and that's all information I need to start to create a load, right? So once I create the load, what I can do is I can add charges. What kind of charges it will going to be for this load, right? So there are predefined charges type, and I can add as many as I want. Okay, so let's assume we are sharing for brokers. They normally do percentage of revenue, right? So they will provide the rate and let's say right.
Hi
So
guys.
this is
Oh, hi, Adnan.
Hi Vinny, how are you?
Fantastic. I'm better now that I hear your voice. It's fantastic now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Highlight of my day, sir. Great to hear from you.
Hope everything is fine at your end.
Yeah, things are good. So yeah, Amir's just showing me the new features for specifically for brokers, and I guess 3PLs pretty much work pretty much the same way, right?
same way. Yes,
Right,
yes.
right.
Because everyone needs two things, Vinny. One is how they can import a load into the system and how they can track that load. That's all they need to know. And of course, at the end of the load, how much profit they make, right? Because this is how they can
Sure.
understand what charges they are accruing and how it is reflecting on their books, right?
Got it.
So once I create the load, I just save it and it will be in my system. And I already provide the pickup and delivery date, right? So I know that when this load needs to be picked, right? So if I go to load board, and this is the most important screen, as you know, for any broker, or because every load is on the load board and they can see. And this one is, you see that I created now. This is red because it needs to be picked up today, and we already laid on this.
I see.
Because I choose the date, today's date, so that's why, right? So
Yeah,
once
so
we
it's pressing.
correct. So once we have the load, it shows all the details of the load, when it's going to be picked up, from where and where to, right? So if I want to change something in the load, I can simply click on the load, and again it will open in the same screen, right? And I can do any changes I want. So then I will assign a driver. So from broker point of view, think about that. I find a customer, I find the load. Now I assign it to a driver. So once I select a driver or carrier, so this is how normally broker works, because broker works with the drivers directly or carriers.
You're not able to control the word.
Sure.
Because if someone is using this software and they are carrier, they don't need other carriers, but sometimes they do. Because nowadays how industry works is that if I'm a carrier, I can still work with other carriers as well if I have a load that I don't want to do. So it's just like they are working on a commission base, right? So but for broker, mostly they work with the carriers, and they have all the carriers on this list. So if you see that these are all companies, compared to this one, these are all individual drivers. So our software support both of these features. If they want to work with the individual drivers or they want to work with carriers, it will work with both.
Got it.
Okay, in this case, I just select carrier. So by the way, Tuberry, this is one of our customer, and they are broker now. they were used to be carrier first, but now they are broker.
I can find it.
So they're both, I guess.
No, they actually sell all their trucks,
I know,
all
right?
their
Oh,
assets.
so they switched.
Yes,
I
they
see.
switch from carrier to, because they said it's too much work to manage all the resources, but they do know the business, so they keep working with their clients without having any resources,
Gotcha.
owning the
Yeah, owning the
resources.
trucks. They're not dealing with the
Yes.
trucks anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah, they're
they
just
are still
brokering the
using.
deals.
Correct. Okay, so if you notice that once I assign the driver, then I have more options at the bottom.
You can move it
Right.
so that thing, the ball falls
These
down
are
and
really
then
important
hang out with
for
it.
especially for the brokers. Like if I have a load that is going to be $5,000 or $10,000, right? I need to know that how many miles it is going to drive, because most of the trucks or carriers charge by mile, right? So if you see that, it will calculate miles and shows the number of miles between these different locations. And remember, trucking miles are different from regular miles, right? So what we have in our system is we have integration with ProMile. ProMile is a software, it's a service for trucking companies, for the truckers, that it calculates miles based on the trucking routes. Because sometimes, on a road there's a bridge, you cannot go through that road, you have to circle around and to reach the destination. So it will calculate the miles based on that.
Got it. Okay, so the software integrates with that service.
Correct. So our
Yeah.
software is integrated with ProMiles to help them to calculate the correct miles instead of using the Google Maps.
Okay, good.
All right. So you see that we have a few options over there. If we want to remove the driver or notify the driver. Notify driver is works when we have the mobile app working for the drivers. If they don't want to use the mobile app, they normally do manual. Most of the brokers work manually nowadays. But if they're using Horizon Go mobile app, driver will get notification once the job is assigned.
Maybe just a little
So
bit.
whenever we
Okay.
assign the job, it will automatically send a notification. Okay, so if you understand
Okay,
this,
and that's if they have the mobile app running.
yeah, we do provide the mobile app as part of the deal.
Okay.
So, and this is very important to understand that whenever they assign a job,
Oh.
there's a work order and there are steps to complete that job, right? So our system automatically create all those steps, and these are configurable, right? What steps you want to perform on each load. So this is a workflow. You can say it's a workflow for the driver. Right? So the first thing is they have to arrive at the shipper, right?
Mhm.
They picked up, depart shipper. They arrive at consignee and depart consignee. These are the four normal things they always do during a load cycle or life cycle of a load. Make sense?
Okay, yeah, got it.
So what we do is we have an option to mark these check calls. We call them check calls. It's just a workflow for the order, right? They can mark using our software from here that, okay, he arrives at the shipper, right? Or driver can mark it from the mobile app, same way, and it will actually track the location of the driver as well. If they mark it once they reach there, so it will track the location that they mark it once they were there. So it
Got
has
it,
the
okay.
timestamp and everything.
It
So
shows
they
a
can
GPS stamp and timestamp when they mark it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this will really help them to understand that if driver is really over there or not.
It wasn't all the way down.
Okay,
So
Makes
once
sense.
they mark, yeah, and along these default check calls, there is an option to add more check calls. Like we got an order. As
Like
a
if they have to
broker
do a
and-
weigh station or something like that.
Yeah, there might be an option. A customer asked that once you reach the shipper, make sure you collect the documents.
Sure. So you can add to the workflow if you need to.
Yes. So we can click add check call, and it will ask where you want it, from where you want it, and it will create a check call for them. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
yeah. So it provides each and every kind of option. Means we have default workflows, plus you can create any other item in the workflow if you want.
Okay.
So then we will start tracking the order, and either dispatcher or driver can mark these check calls for this order. So while I'm marking it, now let me go back to load board.
Like another step.
So you see that few things. Before there was no driver assigned and everything. Now it has every information over here. Plus it has a progress bar.
Mm-hmm.
So progress bar is really based on the distance and number of check calls we mark, right? So sometimes this whole business is really time critical. Like you have to pick up from a location A, and they want you to pick up in early in the morning between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Right? And if your driver is like not reached there before it will start showing the progress in red, like this one. Like we are behind the schedule.
Oh, I see.
So this really helped them to understand and make sure they can communicate with the customer that we are on time or we are behind our schedule, things like that. Because the most important thing in this business is the communication, and you can do the communication once you have the information.
Right. So this is a good dashboard of seeing where everything's
Yes.
at, if it's running
Correct.
correctly or
Sure.
not, if it's profitable or
Yes.
not, if it's,
Yes,
yeah, okay, timely or not.
correct. And this is the most important thing for brokers and 3PLs because 90% of their time is going to be on this load board because they have to understand where we are with each and every load. And if there's a delay, how far we are, so they can communicate with the driver and the client. Right? So it's really trackable for both for them to communicate with the clients.
So if you zoom in on a load, you zoom in on the checklists? Or no? So this is zooming in on the details of the load, like the
This is
phone
the
numbers, things like that.
correct. This is the main load that where we are going to pick up and where we are going to drop. This is the once you click on it, the load, then you have all the details about the load and the
Oh, and there's your
workflow.
check calls.
Yes.
Okay. And does the map is it supposed to show you where the truck is?
Yes.
Okay,
We do have that feature, but that's a separate thing,
I see.
right? Because this is just showing the load information.
Oh,
And
okay, gotcha.
we do have
Breadcrumb.
an option.
Go to the breadcrumb report.
Yes. There are two things: current GPS and breadcrumbs. Right? And this is really important, Winnie, because what happened at look at this. So it will show you all the trucks where they are right now.
Oh, wow,
And
okay.
this is based on when they click on the phone for a check call. And even we are tracking the location of the truck while they're doing the job.
Right.
Right. So if you see that the tractor is at this date time, it was at this lat and long, and it will give almost approximate location where they are right now.
Gotcha.
Right. So this is one thing. The second thing is breadcrumbs. And breadcrumbs is really important for them.
That's a Samsara report.
No.
Oh, because it says Samsara GPS breadcrumb on the top.
Oh, yes. So it can be tracked from two ways. One is through Samsara, right? Because we do have integration with Samsara. But we do also provide based on our application as well.
Right.
5671.
Yeah, it just depends.
Sorry,
Truck number
Fatima?
5671.
5671. There it is.
So you see what it does is that if they are using Samsara, we will get this information from Samsara that
Yeah.
and it shows on the map that where the truck was at after each interval, specific interval, right? So it shows the
Yeah.
date and time. If you can see that, it shows the date and time, right? But if they're not using Samsara, what we did that we also have our mobile app, and it also tracks it if they're using the mobile app, right?
Okay.
So we can show these things using our mobile app as well.
Nice.
It really depends if they're using Samsara or not. So
Right. It
we do
depends on their
provide both.
technology position. So you just
Correct.
have to configure the profile of the client to react to whatever, technology they're subscribed to.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
fine.
So
Makes sense.
this way they can track each and every load and easily check the breadcrumbs later as well. Because sometimes, client asks them that, okay, or if they have some conflict with the client, like your truck wasn't there at this time, they can easily get these breadcrumbs and show them with the proof of the lat long where they were at particular time.
So you said there's a load board feature that helps them find buyers through the 123 load board as well.
Correct. Yes.
So that's a popular feature for brokers, right?
So right now, what happen is that they find the loads from the 123 load board. Once they finalize it, once they get it, they load it into our system. But what I was explaining is that we already have implemented 123 load board. Adnan, do we have it on this one or not? A demo system.
Adnan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. 1 second, let me check.
So benefit of doing that, Vinny. So think about that. They have to go find the loads. Once finalized, they have to manually go into our software and enter it into our system. That's a manual process. What we are doing and what we did is we integrated with 123 load board. So instead of using 123 load board, they can still use our system to find the load through 123 load board. And once they finalize, they can just click once and it will automatically create a load into our system that this is through 123 load board and we have this load to work on.
Yeah, it helps brokers drive their day, basically.
Correct.
They have that information for sure.
A couple of more things from 3PL point of view is EDI. Let me explain you this as well. So normally what happened that most of the bigger companies, large scale enterprises, they don't push the loads manually. So let's assume if you have a client, they said that, okay, we will send you the loads on daily basis, but we have an automated system, right? So most of the companies use EDI transactions to send the information. So EDI is a standard, and it's a very old standard, for B2B communication, right? So what they do is that they have a document for the order, like you have to pick this load from this location and drop it pick from A location and drop at B location, right? So that document will come to us automatically. Our system will translate that document and create a load based on the document information automatically into our system.
Okay.
So this is very, very common thing in enterprise and for the enterprises. And 3PL work a lot with these things. They don't, because what they do is they don't use load boards to get the orders. They have contracts with the, enterprises to work on their loads.
Right.
Make sense? So
yes.
And enterprises don't want to send the loads by email or by phone. They just send it through electronically from the system, and our system automatically accept that load and create a load into the system. But we still have option. Sometimes, if they send a load and we don't want to do that load, we still have option to accept or reject that load.
Okay,
So once they accept
so
it,
this
it will
connects to their system.
correct. So the benefit of doing this is once we accept it, it will send them the information, means to the client that we accept it and we are going to do it without any manual interaction. So they got the confirmation, we do the load, and it will automatically start sending updates to their system. And
Okay,
this
good.
is more for, this is more for the 3PL.
That was really awesome.
Right, so it's all connected.
Doing that
Correct.
next time, 'cause I think I have a little bit of
And this is really important for these EDA transactions. These are really important for them.
So can we
Especially-
see a quick demo of
No, that-
processing a load through this here?
Adnan, do we have any EDA document?
Oh crap. Oh my god. Okay, I can show you that.
Not on demo actually.
So, Vinny, what we will do that for these kind of things, I will ask Adnan to create a small video for
Okay.
each of these features, and
Great.
he will share it with you.
Perfect.
So you can learn from that and share it with the prospects that this is how it works.
Okay, looks
Yeah.
good.
But the thing is that our software work perfectly for brokers because we already working with them, and for 3PL if they have enterprise connections. Right. So again, once we have the load, they're performing all the actions, and once it is done, right, then the rest of it's within the company that because brokers work on commission.
Right.
So our system provides them facility that how they want to distribute the money. So normally broker work on 10 to 15% of the load cost, the amount they are receiving from the customer. So let's say if I'm a broker, I got a load at $10,000, I'm getting 10%, and the rest will go to you or the carrier who actually perform the load. So, our system will automatically calculate all these, transactions. And if you remember about the billing part, it will automatically create invoices. It will automatically create the transactions and how much we owe to the driver or the carrier under the settlements.
I see.
So you see under the settlements, you can select carriers that, okay, how much we have to pay a particular carrier between these dates. Adnan, do you have data?
They're all like, oh, what's that? We will question.
Yeah, go to the drivers just to show him the
Yeah,
settlement
okay.
sheet.
And they all, it was really fun,
Robert
but it was
Hogan.
really fun. Look how much stuff I got.
Yeah.
And
Just
date?
go 1 month back. My first generator. Show report.
So, that was really
So
awesome.
look at this, Winnie, and this is again important for both broker and 3PL. Now I work with the load, I work with the driver or carrier because it's the same for both, right? So it will calculate everything. This is the quantity we decided. This is how much we are going to pay to the driver at this rate. This amount needs to go out to the driver or carrier. So it will calculate the summary, and they can create a settlement sheet and print it for the driver and or email him the settlement sheet.
Okay, that's something the driver can use,
Driver or carrier, so they are both
or
the same
carrier.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, depending on the relationship.
Correct. Because for the brokers, most important thing is, so remember, first, the actually 4-step process. First, finding a load and have it into the system.
Right.
Second, assign the driver and track the load. Once it is done, they can send under the billing, they can create invoices for the customers that the load is done. Here is the invoice, right? So once they receive the money, the last step is to settlement with the carrier or driver that this was what we get. This was our contract, and this is our percentage division. And based on that, they have to transfer it to carrier or driver.
I see. So it does the invoicing form as well.
Correct. For invoicing, we do have integration with QuickBooks as well. And that's really important because most of the companies, like, as I know, that 80 to 90% of the companies use QuickBooks for accounting.
Yep, we're on QuickBooks. Most people are on QuickBooks. Absolutely.
Yes.
So this will shoot an invoice into QuickBooks. It'll create it into there.
Correct.
That is convenient for sure.
Yeah.
There's not a demo of that, is there?
We do have a demo for that. I'm sorry, I should prepare those things, but
No, it's
for
okay.
sure.
It's okay. I trust that it does it. The biggest thing is that I want to make sure that this has all the features that 3PLs and brokers need. And I want to communicate that, in a way that they're confident, at least to give it a look. So that's fantastic.
I think these are important questions as well, Vinny. And what I will do that, Adnan, you and I have to work and create some videos for all these small things that we can show that this is what I did and there is the effect. So we can show that it creates an invoice in the QuickBooks.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, there could be quick little videos like, exactly. This is how you, yeah, exactly. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fantastic. I appreciate it. I think this answers all the questions that I had. And if I get any more, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, and Vinny, I already asked the team to work on that 2 pages to add information for 3PL and brokers, that how we are going to help them to run the business.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't ignore them.
Yes.
That way we can use that as a tool to reference and share so that we're all on the same page of what features are the most popular and get feedback from the customer in case they need to see different features. We know to have those also available to communicate. Yeah, it's good. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, and I'm going to create actually what I will do that I will create small videos for all those menu items, that what the benefit is and how they can use it. Because for 3PL, remember they use a lot of manifest as well, right? So manifest is actually a group of loads. There's a term LTL, less than a load, in trucking business.
Oh, less than a load?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me explain you, that will really help you. So what happened that sometimes companies work like, especially brokers, what they do that they get a load from location A, and that is not a full truckload. Okay. And what they do that instead of sending that load, they try to find another load closer to that location that can fill the truck, right? So instead of loading one item, they load 2 items into the truck. So they actually have 2 different loads in one route.
Right.
So the term is less than a load, or LTL. So what they do is that they pick up 2 loads. So because truck is going from location A to B, and they try to fit both loads in the way, right? So in that case, truck driver has to pick 2 loads and drop 2 loads. So what our system do is that we provide the manifest option. So manifest is you have 2 loads and you have to pick 2 loads and drop 2 loads in one go. So we group them under manifest, and then driver assigned to a manifest. Then they perform that manifest, and of course, in that case, they have multiple pickup locations, multiple drop locations.
Right. So on less than loads, they're gonna have to manage it via the manifest.
Correct.
Got it.
But and this is again a very important feature our system provides, that you can not only have full loads but also less than a load scenarios handled into the system as well.
Is that mostly popular with brokers or with everyone?
With everyone.
Yeah, everyone uses that sometimes, depending on the
Yeah.
load.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
because
course.
sometimes they have customers, those have full loads from location A to location B, but sometimes they have customers those don't have full loads. So then they try to find another customer to fit them with the customer A, so they can send in a bulk and save more money.
Gotcha. Very cool. Appreciate it. I think this is good.
And
Is there any other popular features that you want to let me know about?
yeah, Vinny, and let me explain to you one more thing about less than a load, or because
Oh, sure.
that's why I call it fleet management instead of trucking management. Let's think about Amazon delivery, right? Amazon delivery is the best example of less than a load, because they are not just delivering to one customer, they are delivering to 100 customers.
Sure.
So they have to pick up from one location and drop at 100 different locations. So all that workflow can be created within our system and then assign it to the driver, and driver knows that where they have to go next. So this
Right.
means, I'm just giving you an example that even Amazon can use this system.
Sure.
So these are the very important things. EDA is very important thing, and the most important thing we are working on right now is all the integrations. As I told you that we do have integration with Samsara, we do have QuickBooks, we do have Keep Trucking. Right, Keep Trucking is the competitor of Samsara. Now they
Okay.
call themselves Motive. This one. So they do also provide all the devices just like Samsara, right?
Right. So yeah,
so
location, GPS, fleet management.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do have integration with them as well, right? We do have we are in progress on DAT, and it will be ready very soon. We do have
Awesome.
integration with 1 to 3 load board, right? Then there are some services for the fuel as well. So most of the companies, what they do, that they have contracts with the fuel companies, like if they want their trucks to be filled from Loves, right? So they
Right.
have a contract with Loves that whenever our truck came in, you will have to track it at how much fuel they add, and we do have integration with that, and it will automatically fill in, means pull the information within our system to show that how much fuel they use during that trip.
Well, we're great. So
Yeah.
is that specifically with Loves or not necessarily?
It has with many different companies, because there is one vendor that provides that facility, and we are integrated with them.
I see. Oh, great. Good deal. So that's fuel management as well.
Yes.
Okay.
So as I said, that our current focus is really on the integrations, that we can add as many integrations as possible.
Gotcha.
Because,
excellent.
Our current system for the trucking or fleet management, it works perfectly. Now we're just connecting with other systems to have more control and less manual work.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
what I will do, that I will work with them to create some small short videos for you, and
Okay.
we will upload all those to our YouTube channel, and then you can easily access them from there.
That's perfect. Yeah. In the meanwhile, I'll go ahead and send me the recording on this call,
Yes,
and
I will do that.
we will go through it. I'll share it, and we'll see. what good stuff we find out of it.
Great.
I think this has been very valuable, so I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right.
All right, have a great day. Thanks, Samir. Thanks, Adnan. It's good to hear from you, man.
Thanks, Vinny.